I noticed the glint of my silver pen resting on the edge of the desk, its polished surface reflecting a dance of light that shifts with each subtle movement. As I pick it up, the cool weight feels familiar in my grasp, grounding me in a world that often tries to push me around. This day was supposed to be routine. I had my audit checklist neatly laid out before me, each item a small victory in the drudgery of banking procedures. The scent of freshly brewed coffee wafted through the air, mingling with whispers of quiet conversations around me. Everything felt right as I prepared for another day at the credit union. But then, those comfortable thoughts were interrupted when Marcus strolled in. His casual demeanor shimmered with arrogance as he approached my desk. Seeing him wear that smirk made my stomach churn slightly. It was as if he knew something I didn't. "Still keeping track of pennies, Mom?" he chuckled. I could feel heat creeping up from my neck to my cheeks, a burning reminder that he never really thought much of my accomplishments. I glanced down at my silver pen again and took a deep breath to steady myself. It wasn't just about the money I managed, it was about dignity too. Yet here he was, belittling everything that gave me pride. "Actually," I said, forcing a smile onto my face while suppressing a tremor in my hands, "it's more about ensuring we're compliant." My voice barely masked the annoyance bubbling beneath the surface. He waved his hand dismissively, as if flicking away an annoying fly. "Compliance? It's just bureaucracy," he scoffed. In that moment, I could feel every eye in the room trained on us. The weight of their stares pressed against my shoulders like a heavy blanket, choking off any thoughts of defending myself further. A quick glance toward the manager's office showed her peering out with narrowed eyes. Just as I was about to respond, she stepped into view fully and crossed her arms over her chest. Her presence commanded attention and respect, a power shift that made Marcus straighten up slightly beside me. I swallowed hard, resolving not to let this moment slip away from me. "Marcus," she said firmly, her tone leaving no room for doubt or argument, "this is not how we treat family here." She gestured toward him with an almost maternal authority that caught everyone by surprise. The tension hung thick in the air as Marcus shifted uncomfortably under her gaze, while I felt a rush of gratitude swell within me. Perhaps she saw what he could not, that honor was more than just numbers on a balance sheet. Then came his retort, the reckless bravado returning almost instantly as he laughed harshly. "Oh, please, you all coddle her too much." His words sliced through the atmosphere like glass shattering on tile. "I'm proud of what I do," I shot back without thinking, surprising even myself how confident I sounded. The manager's sharp response silenced him briefly, a small victory for me, but only temporarily while everyone held their breath waiting for his next move. He leaned closer now, so close I could see every detail in his smug expression. "You really think your tiny pension matters?" The disdain dripped from his voice like rancid honey. My heart raced at this unexpected assault on my worth again. Anger bubbled beneath my skin like molten lava, threatening to spill over into the open air between us. Before responding, I gripped that silver pen tightly, feeling its stability amidst chaos. "Size doesn't determine value," I shot back suddenly, every word ringing clear and true despite the trembling in my fingers. With that declaration hanging between us like a shield forged from steel instead of paper, Marcus took a step backward, as if stung by an unseen strike. The atmosphere shifted again. Something inside him faltered, or maybe cracked beneath his bravado. Yet there remained a lingering question. How far would this confrontation go? Would he retaliate? My pulse quickened at the uncertainty surrounding us both, now suspended within an invisible web woven from shared history and unspoken grudges. Around us, whispers began circulating softly across our small room filled with papers and checks, fluttering gently against one another, reminders of mundane obligations and responsibilities we'd all learned to navigate through life together, with varying degrees of success. but also lingering resentment hidden beneath polite smiles. The manager stepped forward as if she wanted to intervene again, but paused mid-motion, watching intently for signs of escalation or reconciliation between mother and son-in-law, taking place right there before her eyes amid unforgiving audits and expectations alike, while others observed carefully, weighing judgments based solely on appearances alone. Just another day bewilderingly defined by familial ties, strained under pressure, yet cloaked in silence, demanding our attention urgently once more. Would Marcus concede defeat gracefully? Or might he choose instead to unleash further barbs, aimed directly where they knew they'd hurt most deeply? Each second ticked slowly onward, dragging along doubts submerged below waves crashing against rocks worn smooth over time, creating tension that might snap any moment should either party refuse to yield, despite knowing better. For now, though, in this bubble suspended somewhere between conflict resolution, a fresh realization began forming within me, gathering strength steadily beneath layers long neglected until now, inviting curiosity, stirring questions left unanswered. The door swung open, and I almost dropped the cup of coffee I held in my hands. My heart raced as I turned, and there stood Max, his face flushed with urgency. He stepped into the room, glancing between the three of us before locking eyes with me. The fluorescent lights overhead flickered slightly, casting sharp shadows across his worried brow. He said, "Mom, we need to talk." His voice was tight. There was an edge to it that twisted my stomach into knots. I set the coffee down on the table next to me with a shaky hand. It felt too hot against my palm as I placed it down. I could see my fingers trembling slightly. They were betraying my calm facade. "What's going on?" I asked, struggling to keep my tone steady while my mind raced through possibilities. Max took a step closer and lowered his voice, glancing back at Dad and Lucy, who sat still on the couch. "I just heard from Sarah," he said urgently. "She wants to meet." A rush of air escaped my lungs as I processed his words. Sarah had always been a source of tension in our family, a constant reminder of choices made years ago. "Not now," I replied sharply, feeling the heat rise in my cheeks at the mere mention of her name. But Max shook his head stubbornly, his expression firm yet pleading. "If we don't address this now, Mom, it'll only get worse." His gaze pierced through me like a needle, igniting something deep inside me. My fingers curled tightly around the armrest of my chair as I weighed my options. The worn fabric scratched against my skin, a reminder that I couldn't avoid hard conversations forever. "I need some time," I said, though even as the words left my mouth, I felt them slip away like sand through my fingers. "Time is not what we have," Max insisted quietly but firmly. His frustration bubbled beneath the surface like boiling water about to overflow. Just then, Lucy spoke up from her spot on the couch, her eyes darting between us like a pendulum swinging back and forth. "Max is right," she chimed in softly but resolutely. "You can't ignore this." I turned to look at her. Her small frame was rigid with determination despite her quiet demeanor. It struck me how much she had grown lately. The little girl from last year was gone. "Why now?" I asked incredulously, feeling a mix of disbelief and dread washing over me. "Why does she want to come back?" Max took a breath, clearly bracing himself for whatever came next. "He didn't say why," he admitted, rubbing the back of his neck absent-mindedly as he glanced around the room. Each word hung in the air heavily like fog that refused to lift. Thick and suffocating. I inhaled deeply, searching for clarity amid confusion swirling in my mind like fallen leaves caught in a gust of wind. A decision coiled within me, like a tightly wound spring ready to snap. "We will meet her," I finally declared, realizing that avoidance would only prolong our suffering. As soon as those words left my lips, an electric tension filled the space between us, shifting power dynamics startlingly apparent. Lucy's wide eyes reflected uncertainty, while Max stiffened beside me at this unexpected change in direction, a moment rippling with unspoken consequences.
What would meeting Sarah mean for all of us?
I remember the smooth glide of my silver pen across the application form. It felt like a promise, yet now it rests heavily in my pocket, cold against my thigh. The bank is bustling with lunchtime activity. I shift in my seat, clutching the queue ticket as if it were a lifeline, while Marcus jokes with Leonard across the room. "Guess we should have brought a picnic," Marcus laughs, but his words sting. I can see Samuel tapping his foot impatiently, his eyes darting toward the teller windows. Denise sits beside me, biting her lip in anxiety. She glances at the clock and then back to me. I feel her tension radiate like heat from a flame. "Is something wrong?" I ask quietly, trying to catch her gaze. Her fingers fidget with her own queue ticket, crumpling it into a tighter ball. "Just waiting," she replies softly. I nod, but can't shake the unease prickling at my skin. The tension escalates when Marcus's voice raises slightly above the chatter. "What's taking so long? Can't believe you're still on that tiny pension," he scoffs, laughing boisterously with Leonard at my expense. I inhale sharply, tightening my grip on the queue ticket until it begins to tear at the edges. The laughter feels like ice water splashed over an open flame inside me. "Every penny counts," I manage to reply, letting out a breath that tastes bitter in my mouth. Leonard leans back in his chair, crossing his arms as if challenging me to defend myself against their mockery. My stomach tightens. I can feel Denise flinch beside me. Then suddenly, a manager strides over with purpose, scanning the room until he locks eyes on us. He approaches with an unsettling air of authority that sends ripples through our small group. "Is there a problem here?" he asks sharply. His presence instantly dampens Marcus's laughter and raises suspicion among those seated nearby. "I was just telling a joke," Marcus stammers defensively, though his bravado starts to crack under pressure. "No jokes about anyone's financial situation," the manager states firmly as he unclips his badge from his belt and flashes it towards us like a weapon unsheathed. My heart pounds louder than any conversation happening around me. All I want is for this moment to pass without further humiliation. With each passing second, my resolve strengthens again. This has gone too far. "Actually," I say aloud before I can second-guess myself, "it's not a joke when people are struggling." Marcus scoffs again, but there's hesitation in his posture now. Leonard shifts uncomfortably behind him, as if both are gauging their retreat or defense simultaneously. A ripple of awareness spreads through other patrons seated nearby. They seem drawn into our unfolding drama like spectators in an arena. The atmosphere thickens. Whispers fill gaps where laughter once reigned free. "You're right," Denise chimes in unexpectedly, her voice steadying itself alongside mine, despite how tightly she grips her queue ticket now, her own small declaration of support amidst this chaos. The manager nods slightly, as if considering our collective strength against petty mockery, a subtle shift in power dynamics that feels invigorating, yet precarious. But before anything else can unfold or be resolved, I notice someone from across the room watching intently, an older woman dressed impeccably in a navy suit whose expression remains unreadable, but charged with curiosity. Her presence draws me away from our immediate confrontation momentarily, a hint of something deeper stirring beneath this mundane conflict at the bank's edge, where lives converge, but rarely align harmoniously. What does she see? What choices await us now? The air thickened with tension as I stood next to the counter, my fingertips brushing against the cool surface of the laminated receipts. Tom's eyes darted around the room, and I could see his frustration bubbling just beneath the surface. He clenched his jaw, a telltale sign that he was struggling to keep his composure. "Can you just let me handle this?" He shot at me, his voice low but urgent. I felt my heart race in response, each thump echoing in my ears like a desperate plea. There was something about Tom's tone that struck a nerve. It hinted at deeper issues we had never fully addressed. In that moment, I realized that letting him take charge might only fuel the fire between us. It was a risk I wasn't sure I wanted to take. The thought of trying to regain control washed over me like a wave. I took a deep breath and stepped closer to him, opting for a calmer approach. "No, I think we need to talk about this together," I said softly, making sure my voice didn't betray my anxiety. Before he could respond, Emma entered the room with a hastily written note in her hand. Her brow furrowed as she glanced between us, sensing our standoff immediately. "What's going on?" she asked, her voice almost timid as she approached. Her fingers were fluttering around the edge of the paper like moths drawn to light. I glanced at her note and saw it contained information about our family meeting next week. It felt like an anchor amidst the chaos swirling around us. "Did you show this to your father?" I asked Emma, keeping my focus on her while subtly shifting my posture away from Tom's intensity. Emma shook her head slowly, biting her lip nervously. I didn't know if it was important. Her hesitation struck me harder than Tom's earlier outburst did. It confirmed what I'd been dreading. We were all holding back information and creating walls where there should be openness. "I think it is important," I said firmly, leaning forward slightly and reaching for Emma's hand. My skin tingled at her warmth. Tom's expression shifted again. He appeared caught off guard by our sudden connection. This was my moment to shift power dynamics back into my hands and engage unitedly with Emma. "We need to confront what's really happening here," I continued, squeezing Emma's hand gently while gesturing toward Tom with my free hand. Silence settled in the air as Tom's gaze softened, just a fraction before hardening again. "Okay," he finally muttered reluctantly, crossing his arms tightly across his chest as if bracing himself for impact. The atmosphere still felt electric with uncertainty, but there was now a hint of possibility hanging in the balance, like an unlit candle waiting for its spark.
The midday light streamed through the tall glass windows of the credit union, illuminating the crinkled edges of my queue ticket like a fragile promise waiting to be fulfilled. I fiddled with it nervously, each rustle of the paper echoing my rising anxiety as Marcus's sneer cut through the warm glow around us. "Is that all you have saved up for retirement?" Marcus sneered, his eyes glinting with mockery. He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed over his chest, as if he were a judge assessing my worth. A rush of heat crawled up my neck while I stared at him, my grip tightening on the ticket. The weight of his words felt like a stone lodged in my throat. Even pocket change would be more impressive. His voice dripped with condescension, drawing the attention of others in line. I could feel their eyes dart toward us, the air thickening with tension. I cleared my throat, trying to reclaim some dignity in that crowded space. "It's enough for me," I replied sharply, but my voice quivered slightly. Denise was supposed to be here by now. Her absence created an empty space beside me, an unfilled chair that should have offered support against this onslaught. The clock ticked loudly against the silence that followed my reply. "Enough? You call that tiny pension enough?" Marcus continued, his laughter ringing out like a bell in the stillness. I clenched my jaw as I shifted uncomfortably in my seat. The manager stepped closer, drawn by the commotion, his brow furrowed as he assessed our exchange. I saw him glance toward security standing at the entrance. My heart raced, an unexpected surge of nervous energy coursing through me. "Sir," he addressed Marcus directly, "we don't tolerate harassment here." A part of me felt grateful for his intervention, while another part bristled at being labeled a victim. Marcus straightened up, his teasing demeanor faltering under the weight of authority. "I'm just joking around,"
he said defensively, while avoiding eye contact with anyone around him. "You're making her uncomfortable," the manager stated firmly, pointing towards me with an outstretched hand that felt like both protection and accusation at once. My breath hitched at being thrust into this role, a target instead of a participant. In that moment of clarity amidst chaos, something inside me shifted. I pushed myself up from the chair and met Marcus's gaze head on. This isn't how family acts. Unable to contain myself any longer and fueled by a sudden determination, I took a step forward into the space between us. The clattering sound of my queue ticket dropping onto the floor echoed loudly as it slipped from my fingers. "I deserve respect," I asserted, grounding each word in resolve while loosening tension in my shoulders that had been taut with frustration moments before. Denise was supposed to be here by now. Her absence created an empty space beside me, an unfilled chair that should have offered support against this onslaught. Denise arrived disrupted everything. She rushed into view just then and caught sight of what was happening. Her face paled as she sensed something was wrong. The weight of her concern fell heavily on me, like fog rolling in over familiar hills. "Mom, what's going on?" Denise asked breathlessly, her brows knitting together in dismay. As she stood between Marcus and me, my decision had already set off ripples. Marcus glanced away from me to Denise, as if seeking refuge or validation from her instead. An uncertain silence hung in the air, thick enough to slice through. "It's nothing," he muttered dismissively, but failed to meet Denise's accusing stare. As Denise confronted Marcus about what had transpired, I felt a flood of relief along with fresh layers of anxiety rush over me. The moment felt fragile, yet empowering even amid conflict, like a delicate feather caught on an updraft soaring before it might tumble again. The manager informed security to keep an eye on things while maintaining decorum within their establishment. They nodded and began scanning faces among us all. In that second, uncertainty loomed large over what would happen next, and whether this shift would ultimately help or hinder our familial relationships moving forward. My chest tightened again as it dawned on me. Who really held power here? Would our connections bend or break under scrutiny? I felt the room shrink around me as I leaned against the cold metal table. My heart raced with the familiar rhythm of disbelief and anger. "Mom, you can't just ignore this," Lucy said, her steady voice but edged with frustration. She crossed her arms tightly, as if holding herself together. I reached for the small stack of paperwork scattered on the table. Each sheet felt like a weight pressing down on me. The words blurred momentarily as I focused on Lucy's expression instead. "I'm not ignoring anything," I snapped, my fingers brushing against the rough surface of the table. The papers rustled under my touch, creating a small storm in the otherwise tense silence. "You've been avoiding Dad's calls since—" She trailed off, turning to me with an anxious look. Suddenly, my phone buzzed loudly in my pocket. I hesitated to pull it out, feeling its warmth against my skin. It could be him. It could be anyone else entirely. "What if it's Dad?" she asked softly, her brow furrowing deeper. Her worry hung heavy in the air between us like a storm cloud. I took a deep breath and finally pulled out my phone. The screen flashed with an unknown number and an uneasy tension curled my stomach. Lucy took a step back and bit her lip, waiting for me to decide whether to answer or not. "I need to take this," I said, my voice tight. As I swiped to accept the call, a part of me still wanted to deny it all. As I raised the phone to my ear, a shiver ran down my spine at what lay ahead. An uncertain future loomed just beyond that call. The sharp click of the metal pen hitting the counter reverberates like a clock striking the hour, pulling me back to this moment at the credit union. Each tick resonates with authority, a reminder of what's at stake as my son-in-law Marcus stands across from me, his expression a mix of disdain and mockery. The fluorescent lights buzz as he leans closer, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "That tiny pension of yours won't pay for much, Helen." I grip my own pen tighter, feeling its cool surface pressing against my palm. It steadies me, but also reminds me of the thin line between respect and derision that has frayed over the years. My heart quickens, not from fear, but from the need to protect what little dignity I have left. Denise shoots him a glaring look while Samuel shifts uncomfortably beside her. "You shouldn't talk like that about your mother-in-law," he says, voice low yet firm. I can sense their unease. It hangs in the air like the tension before a storm. Suddenly, Serena walks into our little circle, her eyes scanning the room before landing on us. She notices the discomfort brewing and raises an eyebrow at Marcus. "What's going on here?" she asks, crossing her arms defensively. "Just pointing out reality," Marcus replies dismissively, waving a hand as if brushing away a fly. But I see it, a flicker of uncertainty behind his bravado. Maybe he senses he's crossed an invisible boundary. My pulse races at this unexpected support from Serena and my family. I know I can't let this slide any longer. Silence only invites more ridicule. "Marcus," I say firmly, meeting his gaze head-on, "respect goes both ways." He stiffens at my words, surprise flashing across his face as if I've doused him with cold water. The shift in power is palpable. Denise straightens beside me, and Samuel nods subtly in approval. This moment feels weighty, like standing on a tightrope above a void. As the atmosphere thickens with tension, Marcus clenches his jaw. "You're just being dramatic," he spits out, but there's something brittle in his tone now, a crack forming beneath his bravado. Serena steps closer to me then, placing a hand gently on my shoulder. "Maybe you should apologize," she suggests softly, giving him no room for rebuttal while I absorb her strength through that brief touch. It's comforting amidst this chaotic whirlwind of emotions. "Apologize?" Marcus scoffs but falters under our collective scrutiny. It feels like we've cornered him without ever having to raise our voices or fists. But then he throws one last jab. "For what? For telling you the truth?" His arrogance clings to every syllable as if it were armor meant to shield him from our shared discontent. I take a breath that feels heavy in my chest and decide it's time to change how all this plays out. "The truth is subjective," I reply coolly, letting that statement settle among us like ash after a fire. Denise exhales slowly beside me. Her body language shifts toward solidarity rather than conflict now. The way Marcus's shoulders tense tells me this fight isn't over yet. He's still reeling from my challenge. Before anyone can speak again, though, my focus lands on something near the entrance. A poster about fraud awareness hanging crookedly on the wall catches my eye. Its stark messages stand out against the dull colors around it and draw parallels to our own exchange. Accusations made without grounding in honesty or care. What does fraud even mean if we don't hold each other accountable? I ask aloud without expecting an answer, but wanting to drive home how twisted these dynamics have become in our family discourse. Marcus glances up at the poster too, but quickly looks back at me, with renewed anger simmering just beneath his surface, despite Serena's steady presence beside me. Then it hits me. Maybe he fears losing not just respect, but status within our family dynamic. His bluster is merely a mask for insecurity disguised as superiority. "Let's clear this up," I finish decisively, feeling more anchored than before despite everything swirling around us. This isn't just about pensions or pride anymore. It's about honoring relationships that feel strained beyond repair already. Yet, even as I stand tall amidst rising tensions within our group dynamic, and perhaps even begin to reclaim some lost ground, I can sense another shift brewing underneath it all. Will we really confront these buried grievances together? The question lingers in the air like smoke. What happens next? I could feel the warmth of the sun through the window, but inside it felt cold. My fingers tightened around the metal arm of the chair, digging into its cool surface. I glanced at my mother, her eyes darting between me and the doctor. "Is there something you're not telling us?" I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. The question hung in the air like an uninvited guest. The doctor shifted his weight from one foot to the other, hesitating just long enough for my heart to race. I noticed his white coat brushing against the counter as he leaned forward slightly. "There's more to discuss," he finally said, glancing at a clipboard held tightly against his chest. I took a deep breath, feeling the tension coil in my stomach. Ignoring my instinct to retreat, I stood up abruptly, causing the chair to scrape loudly against the tiles. Just tell us what it is, I insisted. He looked back at me with cautious eyes before speaking again. Your father's condition has worsened. His words were heavy, landing like stones within me. A new tension settled over our small group. My mother's hand trembled as she reached for her necklace, fiddling with its clasp, an anchor in a stormy sea. Worsened? How? I pressed on, fueled by a mix of anger and fear. The doctor hesitated again, as if weighing his next words carefully. We need to consider advanced treatment options. I swallowed hard. Each option felt like yet another weight added to my shoulders. The reality of it all was sinking in too quickly, tightening like a vice around my chest. Where do we go from here? My voice cracked slightly as I spoke. The doctor opened his mouth, but paused instead, shifting his gaze toward the window where shadows danced across the floor. I catch sight of the audit checklist, its edges crinkled and worn, sitting at the counter like an uninvited guest. My fingers tap restlessly against my leg as I feel the weight of curious glances skimming over me in the busy credit union. The hum of voices blends with the rustle of papers, creating a tapestry of everyday life that feels almost suffocating. I shift my weight from one foot to the other, wishing for this wait to end so I can escape this moment. Behind the counter, a young bank staff member flips through files as she checks my account. Her brow furrows with concentration as if each page holds a secret I'm not privy to. My stomach tightens at the thought. What if they find something wrong? Samuel stands beside me, arms crossed, eyes darting to the clock on the wall. He gives a slight huff, as if he's already annoyed by how long this is taking. I can feel his impatience radiating off him, and it stirs an uneasy knot in my chest. "Mom, can you hurry up? I have places to be," he mutters, barely above a whisper, but sharp enough to cut through my thoughts. "Just give it a minute," I reply quietly, yet there's an edge to my voice that surprises even me. The tension between us hangs heavy in the air, thick like smoke. Then Leonard arrives unexpectedly. He strides into view with a casual confidence that seems misplaced in the sterile setting. My heart sinks as he approaches us with that smug smile plastered across his face. "What are you doing here?" Samuel snaps before I can respond. His tone drips with contempt. "I'm here to help out," Leonard said smoothly, his hands casually tucked into his pockets. The way he stands feels like a challenge, a barrier erected between us and any sense of normalcy. I try to focus on the staff member again, who now looks flustered under Leonard's gaze. It's clear she doesn't know how to handle this influx of family drama invading her workspace. Her fingers hover over her keyboard while sneaking glances at all of us. "We're going to sort this out," I say firmly, trying to keep control over our mounting chaos. I can feel my pulse quicken as worry claws at me. We need this money sorted for Denise's college fund. Leonard leans against the counter, casually, seemingly unfazed by our predicament. "Doesn't look good when your tiny pension needs auditing," he quips loud enough for nearby customers to overhear. The laughter ripples through the crowd like an uninvited wave crashing down on us. A heat rises in my cheeks as embarrassment washes over me like cold water. Samuel stares daggers at Leonard while gripping tightly onto his own queue ticket as if it were a life buoy in turbulent seas. "Enough!" I snap without thinking, surprising myself as much as anyone else in line behind us. Everyone goes quiet for just a moment. Even Leonard looks taken aback. "Let them do their job," I say more softly now, but still assertively. The bank employee looks relieved at being given permission to proceed, rather than being caught in this awkward family clash. Her fingers hover over her keyboard while sneaking glances at all of us. The air feels charged with unspoken tension layered over uncertainty about our finances and future plans for Denise. As if sensing opportunity slipping through fingers, Leonard adjusts his stance slightly and raises an eyebrow mockingly at me. "Don't you think they'll find anything suspicious?" His challenge lingers like an unshakable shadow looming over our situation. "No," I reply, more strongly than intended. My shoulders tense up instinctively at his insinuation. "We're fine." The bank employee lifts her eyes from her screen just long enough to catch mine before returning to whatever she's deciphering on her monitor once more. A bead of sweat forms near my temple. I wipe it away nervously with trembling fingers clutching tightly onto my purse strap. Suddenly, another staff member appears from the back office holding additional paperwork related to audits, more than expected, and hands it directly to the first employee without making eye contact with anyone else present. My breath catches again as every detail becomes magnified. The crispness of the paper clutched in her hand feels heavy, with implications that may change everything for us today. I shift uneasily, despite knowing these are just documents meant for verification purposes, symbols laden with meaning beyond their ink and paper form alone. What do we do when faced with scrutiny from someone wielding authority? I wonder silently while glancing toward Leonard, who observes everything intently as though calculating his next move amidst all this uncertainty hanging around us like fog refusing clarity. Something shifts inside me then, a realization that this isn't just about finances anymore, but dignity too. For both myself and Denise, who's depending upon stability we've worked hard for throughout years spent saving little by little against unexpected tides pulling us under, constantly threatening upheaval beneath surface calm waters. Let's see what they say, I finally declare aloud, pushing back any lingering doubt nestled within me deeper down where only concern resides. My resolve fortified against whatever judgment may come next without wavering further, despite knowing nothing is ever guaranteed or easily won. I catch a flicker of light reflecting off the silver pen at my desk, its polished surface bringing back echoes of mornings spent drafting letters. The scent of burnt coffee lingers in the air, mingling with the faint rustle of papers from nearby patrons as I prepare to navigate another mundane transaction. The air is thick with anticipation and chatter from other patrons. I shift my weight slightly, feeling the familiar tension in my shoulders as voices rise around me. The lunch hour rush is in full swing, with people bustling about like summer bees. Then I overhear snippets of conversation between two staff members nearby. Their hushed tones weave through the clamor, but they're close enough to be heard clearly. One mentions something about fraud, and another laughs, an awful sound that grates against my nerves. My heart sinks further as I lean in slightly, hoping for clarity. What are they discussing? It feels like they're dismissing someone's struggle as if it were nothing more than an inconvenience. The grip on my silver pen tightens involuntarily. It's now a lifeline. A name emerges amidst their conversation. Marcus. My son-in-law. The realization strikes me with the force of a lightning bolt. He had joked about my tiny pension during our last family dinner, and now here he is, potentially tangled up in something unsavory. As they continue talking among themselves, a woman steps forward to address them. Her stance radiates confidence, and her expression is serious. She's clearly a manager, dressed impeccably in tailored attire that suggests authority and competence. I can't help but admire her posture. It demands respect. "Excuse me," she says firmly. "What seems to be the issue here?" Her presence changes the dynamic instantly. It feels as though the very air shifts in response to her voice. I take a deep breath and consider what this could mean for Marcus. It hits me hard that he might not only be joking about my pension, but also embroiled in something far worse than I imagined. Gripping my silver pen tighter, its coolness grounding me, I decide it's time to confront him directly, not just for myself, but for our family. "Marcus." My voice slices through the noise with surprising clarity. Heads turn as all eyes fall on me. My urgency makes me feel exposed, yet resolute. The staff exchange glances as if debating whether they should intervene or allow this confrontation to unfold naturally. I watch Marcus stiffen across the room, his eyes narrowing slightly when he realizes I'm addressing him so publicly. "What do you mean by dragging our family name into whatever this mess is?" My words tumble out faster than intended. They feel charged with years of built-up frustration and disappointment. Marcus steps forward hesitantly, and I notice how his hands flex nervously at his sides, while everyone else watches intently. This moment brims with electricity, the kind that can either spark a fierce argument or illuminate hidden truths. "I didn't drag anyone into anything," he retorts defensively, his voice rising above whispers surrounding us. "What don't you understand?" My voice remains steady, despite the tremor running through my fingertips where they clutch the pen tightly against the counter. "Did you think poking fun at my pension was harmless?" The laughter from earlier fades away entirely. Silence envelops us like a heavy blanket wrapped too tightly around an unsuspecting child. Suddenly, one of the staff points toward a bright red poster hanging on the wall. "Protect your assets," emblazoned across it in bold letters, catches Marcus's eye immediately. His expression shifts subtly as comprehension dawns on him. "I'm trying to protect this family," he murmurs under his breath, but loud enough for me to hear. There's desperation woven through his tone that stirs something deep within me, a flicker of empathy mixed with anger. But then a thought pierces through. What exactly does he mean by protect? Is there more at stake than just mockery over money? Without waiting for an answer, I shake my head slowly but resolutely, letting go of some pent-up rage alongside a sense of betrayal growing heavier in my chest. The atmosphere feels charged now, as if acknowledging an unspoken agreement between us that things cannot remain swept under any rug anymore. "Then explain yourself," I demand, every muscle taut with expectation, and uncertainty hanging palpably between us like an unfinished sentence, waiting for closure. His mouth opens slightly, but no words come out initially. Instead, he fumbles nervously with his phone before locking eyes with mine again, this time steadier, yet searching as if looking for assurance, or perhaps seeking forgiveness beneath all our misunderstandings. I can feel others shifting behind us as questions swirl in their minds. Curiosity grips them like children gathered around an unfolding storybook adventure, or perhaps even tragedy waiting just out of reach. And then it happens. A momentary flicker across Marcus's face suggests he genuinely wants to confess something vital, but fears repercussions beyond simply disappointing family expectations, tied intricately together over decades spent loving each other imperfectly, yet fiercely, without hesitation. I breathe deeply again. I sense something significant looms ahead that may unravel everything we thought we knew about loyalty and trust. That silvery bond, which once seemed so secure, now frays unpredictably at its edges.
The sharp sound of a chair scraping against the floor slices through the chatter, pulling me from my thoughts. I look up to catch Marcus shifting in his seat, a smirk plastered on his face as he glances around the crowded credit union. My stomach tightens at the sight of him. The way he examines me with an air of superiority makes my skin prickle. It's not just any confrontation, it feels personal, like a jab aimed directly at my dignity. "Is that all you have saved?" he asks, voice dripping with mockery. He gestures toward my small stack of paperwork, assessments I've gathered for a meeting today. I can feel the heat rising in my cheeks, tightening my throat as I grip the edge of the table. "It's called planning for retirement, Marcus," I reply, forcing out each word as if they were heavy stones. My hands shake slightly as I adjust my glasses, desperate not to show weakness. Marcus leans back in his chair, crossing his arms and laughing softly. "Planning? Your tiny pension won't even cover a month's groceries." His words sting like ice water pouring over my head. I glance around the credit union at strangers watching us with curious eyes. They don't know what this feels like, this public humiliation masked as casual conversation. I inhale sharply, the air thick with unspoken judgment. "You don't understand what it takes to save," I say firmly, trying to stand tall despite the tremor in my voice. Just then, Denise steps forward from behind the counter where she had been working on some documents. Her brow furrows as she catches wind of our exchange. "Everything counts, Helen," she says gently but firmly, offering me an encouraging nod. Denise has always seen me beyond numbers and finances. Her presence is like a lifeline tossed into turbulent waters. It brings clarity amid chaos. But Marcus shakes his head dismissively, his laughter still echoing in my ears. "You're both wasting your time," he counters, clearly unfazed by Denise's support. He leans closer to me across the table, lowering his voice but widening his grin like a predator closing in on its prey. "What'll you do when the funds run out? Move in with your daughter?" Every word feels like a dagger aimed straight at my heart. I can feel Samuel's presence beside me growing heavier. His silence speaks volumes about our family dynamics fraying beneath Marcus's scrutiny.
As much as I want to curl inward and retreat from this moment, something inside me shifts like tectonic plates beneath fragile earth. I refuse to let him define who I am or how well I prepared for my future. I won't be moving anywhere, I say steadily now, letting anger fuel my resolution. The tension hangs thick between us like smoke in a closed room. Just as Marcus opens his mouth again to deliver another blow, Serena enters through the door with her own Q ticket in hand, a narrow escape from the suffocating confrontation. Her eyes dart between us as she reaches the end of her line and approaches our table without hesitation. "What's going on here?" she asks, casually, but with an undertone that suggests she's already aware of Marcus's cruel jabs. "Just discussing pensions," Marcus replies flippantly, raising an eyebrow at her approach. Serena doesn't miss a beat. Her shoulders tense subtly as she senses the hostilities simmering just below the surface. "Right," she replies coolly, before turning her attention back toward me. "Helen, are you okay?" I nod slowly but feel heat creeping back into my cheeks again at being put on display while Marcus grins smugly across from me. There's no point pretending everything is fine when everyone knows it isn't. Denise moves behind me and places a reassuring hand on my shoulder, a quiet gesture affirming that I'm not alone in this battle against ridicule or shame. "I will make sure things change around here," Denise says quietly enough for only me to hear. Her warmth seeps into me like sunlight breaking through clouds. It offers comfort against this uncertainty that's swirling inside me right now. But still, there's a part of me that worries about what this encounter will do to our family dynamic long term, how it might shift perceptions forever altered by one careless moment, filled with spiteful laughter and biting remarks cloaked under camaraderie. "All right then," Marcus finally declares with a shrug that belies any sense of apology or remorse. "Believe what you want." With those words hanging heavy in the air between us, he stands up abruptly and walks away without looking back, a clear exit from responsibility where there was once only familiarity amongst relatives, now twisted by contempt. I can almost taste defeat lingering bitterly on my tongue, alongside unresolved tension amidst friends turned foes. Yet something more profound stirs within me too. A ferocity ignited by enduring humiliation cannot simply vanish unnoticed, nor challenged within these walls full of discontentment, lingering just beneath calm exteriors. Peering after him through blurred visions, clouded by resentment and confusion mingling deep inside, the question lingers. What will become of our family ties, now tainted forever by these moments lost between mockery and aspirations unmet? The Q tickets hang limply from their dispenser, a stark absence of the vibrant conversations that once filled the space. I tap my fingers against the cool metal counter, feeling the tension in the air thicken like molasses. Marcus stands across from me, his arms crossed and expressions smug. The fluorescent lights above seem to amplify every sneer he directs my way. His voice slices through the low hum of chatter as he mocks my small pension amount, sending heat rushing to my cheeks. "Really, Mom? That's what you've saved?" He gestures dismissively, as if my years of work are nothing more than a joke. I can feel Samuel's hand resting on my shoulder, a comforting weight that contrasts sharply with Marcus's words. The bank manager approaches us, her brow furrowed with concern. "Is there an issue here?" she asks, glancing between us. I can see the tension radiating off her form. She's not used to conflict in this place of money and order. "I'm just helping my mother realize how little she has," Marcus says with a mocking laugh. My breath catches at the sound. It feels as if he is trampling over every little sacrifice I've made all these years. "You don't understand anything about finances," I replied, my voice steadier than I feel. The tick-tock of a nearby clock echoes in my ears, reminding me that time is running out for me to defend myself. Denise walks into the scene, her eyes scanning the room until they land on us. She looks taken aback by the confrontation unfolding before her. "What's going on?" Her question hangs heavy in the air as she approaches with purpose. "Just family business," Marcus replied, with a wave of his hand that seems to dismiss Denise's presence altogether. But when I glance at Denise, I notice something peculiar in her expression, an understanding mixed with concern that sends a shiver down my spine. "I think it's time we talk about this properly," I state firmly, looking directly at Marcus and then back to Denise, who nods slowly. The moment feels charged. I know things are about to shift dramatically between us. The bank manager steps back slightly, as if sensing the undercurrents of our conversation building. "Maybe we should go somewhere private," she suggests, softly. Her suggestion weighs heavily on us all. Before anyone responds, I reach into my purse and pull out my statement, the one showing more than just numbers, but also proof of hard work and savings accumulated over decades. "This doesn't define me," I declare, holding it up between us like a shield against ridicule. As Marcus takes a step closer to examine it, his confidence begins to waver just slightly. For once, he seems unsure of himself. His bravado falters under the weight of what I've just revealed. "Mom," he starts, but trails off as his gaze drops to the document in my hand. It's not just paperwork, it holds history. My sacrifices etched onto those pages, and suddenly, he doesn't seem so superior anymore. The bank manager watches intently as our dynamic shifts, my determination igniting something within her too. There is a sense of power returning to me that I haven't felt in years. Perhaps it's because I finally stood up for myself and what I've built. But before we can delve deeper into this new revelation or confront everything lying beneath the surface among us family members, another figure enters, the security guard who seems curious about our commotion rather than hostile at first glance. I take a deep breath as uncertainty floods through me again. What will happen now that someone else is involved? Will this be enough for Marcus to reconsider his stance? As silence envelops us all once more, I clutch tightly onto the statement in my hand, like a lifeline amidst rising tensions and shifting allegiances around me today. All eyes are turned toward me now, waiting for what comes next. And while I'm ready to fight for what's mine, fear whispers doubts into my mind about how this will all unfold in front of everyone gathered here today.